Energy, edge, power, beauty, Sheila Stephen. A master of the stage, Sheila mesmerizes her audiences with the skill of a professional and the ease of a natural. Stephen began performing at the tender age of 13. Since that first performance, Sheila and her band have traveled all over the Midwest and beyond, leaving behind a trail of adoring fans.
Well, I was born here in Bloomington, was raised in Unionville, just a small town girl, and I have two brothers, two older brothers. I was the baby, the youngest of the three of us, and we were always a very close family and still are. Mom and Dad raised us to be very close and would whoop us if we weren't. So we've remained very close. And my dad actually and my brother, my oldest brother, perform in the band with me. They have since we started the band back in 1982, but in 2010, on stage while performing, my father passed away on stage with us. He was actually in the middle of singing Johnny Cash's song, Folsom Prison Blues, and died of a heart attack right there on stage. Is called Sheila Stephen and the Rodeo Monkeys, and that's actually the fourth or fifth name my band has had over the years, but that one has stuck, and we like it a lot because I feel like they're all a bunch of monkeys and we have a great time together, and I think it comes across on stage as well. The audience also has a great time with us, and we play really a good selection of music. We are primarily a country band, and our heart primarily lies probably with the more traditional stuff, but we do play a lot of current country. I'm a writer. I was a published writer in Nashville, Tennessee for a while, in fact, and wrote the song New Fool at an Old Game. Reba McEntire picked that song up a few years later and made it a #1 hit. So it's one of Reba's 13 #1 hits. Very proud of that. So I spent about 7 or 8 years at Nashville where I was a writer and wrote for EMI Music Publishing. But we also branch out and do some classic rock and some current contemporary rock as well. So we really kind of cover everything so that there's something in our show for everybody who's in the audience. Over 32 years to perform with a lot of greats. And in fact, a lot of legends. We were able to open for people like Waylon Jennings and Tammy Wynette and Randy Travis and George Strait. And more recently, we worked with Brantley Gilbert and Jared Neiman and Easton Corbin. But my personal favorite is probably Eddie Rabbitt. I actually got to perform on stage with him for a span of about 10 years. And he was one of my biggest influences as a songwriter. He had so many hits, and he was such a prolific writer. And he's the one that told me I needed to move to Nashville if I wanted to do this. But I got to go on stage and perform for several years with Eddie on his duets that he had made popular with like Crystal Gale and stuff. So.
And I'll make that final. You've got to keep in mind. I'm a new fool at an old game. A kid out of school.
Bloomington, love the Indiana Hoosiers a whole bunch. In fact, I'm very involved in IU athletics. I believe this may be my 7th or 8th season where I go out to the IU women's basketball games and I host the in-game promotions and just kind of make it a really great, fun atmosphere and get out into the crowd with the fans and get the fans pumped up for the girls. Most people probably remember the Mop Lady. She was a big tradition icon for IU basketball. and she's no longer able to do that part. And so IU Athletics went to Tom Crean and said, hey, if you're going to revive the Mop Lady, you really should ask Sheila Stephen to do it. She's a local icon and people know her, and she's on the radio, she's a great singer. Maybe if you're wanting, because Tom Crean was wanting to bring back those traditions. So Coach Crean asked me if I would be interested in doing that. And so the last 2 or 3 years I've also been able to portray Martha the Mop Lady, and those are some big shoes to fill, I'll tell you.
Ladies and gentlemen, David Price on keyboards. Rick Cook on guitar. Brian Elwood on drums. Paul Mason on bass. And my brother Rudy on guitar and vocals. Rodeo monkeys, ladies and gentlemen.
That's why I love country music, is because it's about life. And Gary Allan recently said it best, pop music and rock music is about the weekend, and country music is about the weekday. It's about the work week. And that's what I think country music is. It's about everyday America and your life and how you live it. And you know, you can sing about the weekend as well and partying, but it's really about the everyday working man. And that's really where I draw my influence and inspiration for writing, is about life.
It's me again when